Hello, everyone. Welcome to my street art presentation. It will be presented by me, Lois. I do apologize. I am currently a bit sick, so I'm hoping everything sounds okay and it will be all right. But with that out of the way, let's continue. So let's begin with what is street art. So street art is artwork that is created in a public space, typically without official permission. Now, the second part has changed over time. Especially in Australia, a lot of street artists has permission to go into specific streets and old lanes and just paint whatever they want. Especially like an artist that I'm going to talk about later, they can run like their own events and stuff. And what is the purpose of this? It can be as simple as making cities and towns stand out more, or it can be like a very increasing seriousness, like increasing awareness of social and political issues. It can be whatever the artist wants to tell us. And what are the different types? Well, it could be as simple as like graffiti, stencils, sculptures, stickers, and there's so many different types that I couldn't possibly tell you. And moving on from that, there's one person I want to talk about is Roan. So Roan is the artist I have selected for this presentation. His full name is Tyrone Wright, which is probably where he got his name on, Roan. He was born and raised in Geelong in 1980 and is one of Australia's most successful street artists. He is most known on focusing on creating beautiful but melancholy murals or paintings of women's faces. His motif is usually referred to as Jane Doe, which is the attempt to find a friction point between beauty and decay. And this is a quote from him: "It's not trying to be sexy. It's not kind of happy or sad. It's a strong and powerful look. I think it's quite empowering to people who see it. It's not clear cut. When people see different things, they're always cool. People can identify with." So yeah, this is kind of just an insight of what he likes to do, and like he just wants to draw like really powerful murals of people. So let's talk about his beginning. So in 2012, he started as a graphic designer for skateboards and skate parks. And around this time, this is when he was getting inspired, because he would start pursuing like abandoned locations looking for graffiti artists of graffiti art, and because of that, it's sort of the catalyst. So when he saw them, he would be inspired to look for like a perfect spot to do his own graffiti and artwork. 2 years after that, he founded the Everfresh Studio in 2004. This is because a lot of inner city setups were shut down, so he had founded a group that helped a lot of local street artists. And in 2010, this was when Roan painted his first large-scale mural in Miami. This is what you can see on the left side. Around this time, this is when he was traveling the world, adding to his inspirations to his murals and developing his own technique. So let's talk about his style and how he reached a global level. So his earlier work started as like utensils or screen printing, but now has moved to a more free-handed style where it enables him to be loose and more open with his style, and gives his work a lot more emotion and power to it. His work can be seen in many places he has traveled to, such as like Japan, Taiwan, Malaysia, the UK, France, Germany, Japan. I said Japan twice, but you get the idea. He's been like everywhere. So much so that the National Gallery of Australia has even commissioned his work. So his work is actually in the National Gallery of Australia, which is the work you can see behind all the wall of text. And this was like particularly located in like London, Berlin, and New York. So yeah, he definitely has expanded quite a lot. So let's talk about one of his recent artworks that I wanted to talk about. This is from his exhibition called Time in Flinders Street Station. So the expedition is sort of meant to act as like a nostalgic love letter to the mid-century Melbourne, to pay tribute to one of the city's greatest icon. It focuses on a post-World War II era where it was inspired by like the migration of Europeans, the working class life, and the spirit of the industrialist past. So Roan describes this as his most ambitious project, and it took him like 3 years to capture this grand scale of this and the character of the site. So this is like the flagship works I wanted to talk about. Unfortunately, due to time, I could not go and explore the time expedition myself, but I still feel like I can talk about it. So yeah. So let's talk about it. So the main subject is, well, the woman's face. As you can tell, as you can see, it matches motif really well. It's very like silent, but also like really powerful. Something I really do want to talk about before I continue is the lighting of this place. The lighting with like the glass house just makes it like this sort of like warm feeling, right? And just makes the expression sort of like warm, but also a bit sad. That's how I interpret it, right? So you can see the woman in the center, but like this glass house, it sort of like tunnels your vision in so you can just see her. Like she's the main focus, and you know that's how you're meant to see it. But if we look outside of that, we see how like some of the panels on the glass house is broken off, how vines grew up from like its roots covering it. This was like inspired by like an Imperium Arc glass house, which was modeled by the Fleet Street main entrance. But also was inspired by the London's Lost Crystal Palace. So it was like a ballroom in a sense, right? This is meant to represent like a ballroom. And this is where we talk about the title of the exhibition, Time. Time is... we could take it at a little sense where it has... If you just took this and it goes over time, you know, like glass would obviously fall. The ivy will grow out. But I also feel like it's like preserving beauty, right? Preserving like the emotion and the like it meant to preserve like a lot of things. So even though this is like called time, it's not always like the passive time, but also preserving the time. So I just like really like it, like just how the arch makes you focus on the girl. It's just like composed really well, and like I honestly think the intention is to allow for like a temporary structure that still over time still contains its beauty, right? And yeah, I think there's something so beautiful about that. So yeah, these are my references, and thank you for listening. Can you say bye bye?